To do something you never did, you must first become someone you never were. Let me explain. So, in order to do something that you want to do, you must think outside of the realms of who you are right now, in the present moment. And I'm going to use this to explain what I mean by that. So, if you're trying to be something that you've never been, if you've imagined that, then you can be that, but you can't be that in the way that you're operating right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the way that you are now is based on a preconception of yourself that you had in the past, that you've realized. So there is no separation between reality and reality and consciousness, not imagination. And what I mean by that is every single thing that exists right now in three-dimensional reality. And sorry for the wind, it's quite intense out today. But what I'm trying to say is every single thing, this pen here, before it existed in three-dimensional reality, it first existed in someone's mind. And we have this false narrative about imagination, this reductive view of it, that, oh, it's just in your imagination, oh, imagination's not real. And that's where the misconception happens, because imagination is the birthplace of everything that exists. This brick wall over here, this window, this page, this easel, all of these things are so real. They are tangibly real. You can see them, touch them, feel them, use them. But they first existed in the mental plane. They existed as a thought, as an idea. And to be realized, they needed to have attention placed on them, conscious attention, and for that attention not to waver. And I'm going to teach you how to do that with yourself. So, I'm going to first draw a line here, separate that, and I'm going to draw a person here. So this is you right now. So you in the present. That's you in the present. And in the present, you have your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, you have your own thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, if you can see that. And so I'm going to circle present in purple. And then what you're trying to do is, in your imagination, you have this idea of yourself. And it's so real. Everything you think is so real. It just exists in parallel realities that you can tune into based on how you tune your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. You're like a tuning fork. You have frequencies, you have resonances. Certain things resonate to you, certain things repel you based on your state of being, based on these three factors here. So I'm going to draw another stick figure here. And this is your future self. So you in the future. I'm gonna circle future. Really hope this setup is okay. I really wish I had a whiteboard, but I don't. And honestly, I don't wish I had a whiteboard. This is pretty groovy. Now, this is the present version of yourself. This is the future version of yourself. There's also the past version of yourself, which also exists. So when you think of things that happened in the past and things that aren't occurring right now, that's because I'm actually going to draw it. There's a past version of you, and it also has its own thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. So I'm going to draw the past version here because we're not really going to focus on it as much as the others. You in the... Ooh, that's messy. Past. Circle past. Alright. Now, each and every single versions of yourselves, focus, there we go. Each of these versions of yourself hold a particular frequency. I'm going to use pink to demonstrate this. So, you've got this frequency here in the present. And you've got this frequency here in the future. I'll explain why I'm doing it like that in a second. And you've got this frequency here in the past. And as you can see, each one has a different frequency. This frequency is slower. We can call it denser. This one is so high. This one is like just in between. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs determine what frequency you have. And usually people are stuck in the past because they have particular thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about the past that they keep on repeating on a loop because they have a cognitive bias, a confirmation bias that they have based on a particular experience that they've had, and they confirm it in their head and get a dopamine rush by seeking it out in their external reality and validating their past experience, which is something everyone does to some extent, but I'm going to teach you how to do it in a way where you achieve your desired reality. So, the magic here happens in the present. This is where it all happens. And it's because to get to this future state here that we want to be in, and you know, this person also has their thoughts, beliefs, feelings. The annoying thing is that to do something you never did, you need to become someone you never were. Because if you continue being the same person, you're going to be stuck here in the lower frequency. And you're going to be repeating things until you figure it out that you're repeating things until you figure it out. Like, you're just going to be stuck in this confirmation loop, and things are never going to change. And life's going to be boring. And you can either operate from a state of faith or fear. Both faith and fear is a blind belief in something that is non-tangible and something that you can't touch. You can't touch faith. You can't touch fear. But one is inclined in a negative skew, and one is inclined in a positive skew. And what I mean by that is, if you live in a state of fear, lower vibrational frequency, then you're constantly fueling your beliefs with fears and doubts and shame and guilt and lower vibrational emotions, which have you walking around with a low vibration frequency, and it's blind belief in the worst circumstances. That's what fear is, because maybe it's happened in the past and you just expect it to. Whereas faith is the complete opposite of that. When you have faith that the best outcome will arrange itself for you, that life will organize itself in a way where positivity is attracted to you. And you can only do this if your frequency is on par with that. Do you understand? Because if you believe, if you're driven by shame, guilt, fear, anger, lower vibrational emotions, then your reality is going to reflect that, because it's in your mind, it's in your subconscious. And because you emit a frequency, you attract a frequency. So what you emit, you attract, and that determines your reality. So when you're in the present, to achieve this state in the future, maybe you want financial abundance. Maybe you want love. Maybe you want, could be all of these things. You want all of these things. You want to be happy. You want to, I'm going to do something random, but this is new experiences. This swirl here, it means new experiences that enrich your life. And so this is what you're trying to be, right? You've never been here. It's just in your head right now. You imagine yourself to be this person who has these things, but you don't exactly know how you're going to get there. I'm going to show you. Now, you in the present moment, it all happens in the present moment. You need to be the person who has these things. There's no other way around it. You are not going to get the reality you want unless you are the person who has those things already. And it's really annoying and it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. And I'm going to try explain it, because in order to have these things that this person here has, you need to already believe in the present moment that you already have them. You need to speak, walk, act like the person who has these things. So you want to be happy. You're already happy now because it's coming to you. And basically what happens is when you act as though it has already happened, you attract those things to you, because your subconscious mind doesn't understand. Your conscious mind understands the difference between what is and what isn't. Whatever you tell your conscious mind, it can differentiate whether or not it wants to believe it. But your subconscious cannot do that. Your subconscious just takes in anything, which is why it's really important to manage how you talk to yourself. Because if you're talking to yourself in a negative way, there's no way you're going to get here with the high positive emotions, okay? Because internally you feel like this. You got a low frequency going on, and you're trying to externalize a different frequency reality, and it's just not going to work. And if it does work, you're probably not going to be able to sustain it, because you're not used to operating in a frequency where you have things. That's why you hear people, they win the lottery and then they blow it all. Why do they blow it? Because they're operating from a mindset where they lack and they don't know how to keep abundance, and they're operating from this frequency. And so when a high frequency comes their way, it's a collision happens, because they're not in resonance with each other, and it falls. So it's really important that you have the base foundations of learning to maintain a frequency and understand what I'm saying here by explaining that what you tell your subconscious mind is really important to manifesting your desired reality. And so if you're trying to manifest these things here, you need to tell yourself You need to walk like that person. You need to act like that person, because our mind is very goal oriented. So once you imagine a goal, once you imagine these things here, once you can visualize it in your head, it's really important to visualize it, because visualization goes beyond your conscious mind and it goes into your subconscious. And I really recommend, like, when you visualize, to really incorporate, like actual visuals, smells, sounds, sensory feelings. Like, really put yourself in the place that you see yourself, because when you put yourself into that place, then you're going to be able to tell your subconscious mind what it actually looks like. And so basically, what you're trying to do is put yourself in the state where you're high vibrational and you get those things. So visualizing and really understanding that this exists in your head at the moment, but if you maintain your frequency, if you stay that person who is going to get these things that you want, then you will get them. But the tricky part is changing your beliefs and your emotions and your thought patterns, and that includes like doing the work and actually sitting down with your limiting beliefs instead of suppressing them, because in the long run, that's what's going to have you have a strong foundation to get the things that you want. Because there's nothing worse than getting the things that you want and then not being able to keep them because you're not the type of person that would have them. Say that you manifested winning the lottery somehow. This is just an example. And you're not able to keep it. Like, the money just goes away. It's because you don't internally believe that you're the type of person that would win the lottery. And it's a day-by-day process. And the amount of time that it takes to get from this state to this state, or this state to this state, is determined by how limiting your beliefs are, how limited in your beliefs you are, how much your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs control your reality, because everything is a mental projection that is externalized, and everything that exists in your mind first. Like the way that you were living right now, it was once a conceivable image in your mind, and now you're living it. And just because you've never been here before doesn't mean you can't be here. If you can think it, you can be it. And I remember when I went off on a tangent and forgot that part where I was talking about the mind works in a goal-oriented way. And once you know what that goal is, so once you've done the visualization and you know in your heart, you feel it, that this is what you want and this is who you are going to be, you truly feel it in your bones, then in the present moment, as you're walking, talking, speaking, acting like this person here, you're going to naturally just choose options that this person would make, and then you're going to go there, and they will feel right to you because they're aligned with that feeling that you had when you visualize this reality here. And you can do this in meditation. You can do this just sitting down. You can write everything down and just be super specific about it and truly imagine it and feel that life is possible. And it will happen. Because as you go about your day in the present moment, you'll naturally be choosing those options. So those options could be where does this person go? How do they talk? Does this person go to a specific place? Do they take themselves out on Saturday for brunch, for example? And you need to, like, take care of yourself, because does this person here take care of themselves? Are they relaxed in their own body? Do they have a regulated nervous system? I'm just throwing out some random questions here that you might want to ask yourself to really put yourself in the frequency of this person here. Does this person help other people? Does this person spread joy? Does this person give advice to strangers? Does this person is this person helpful when you ask them for help? Do they know that everything's going to work out for them? Like, that's everything you need to get there. And as time goes by, there's this gap here currently. And as time and this is time. This time that I'm talking about is different for everyone, okay? You could close all the gaps within a span of, I don't know, 5 minutes to 1 year, 5 years, depending on who you are, how limiting your beliefs are, how willing you are to work through them, how strong your visualization is that you are able to close this emotional gap between you and your future self that you are trying to be. Because the only thing that's keeping you from being them is your thoughts, beliefs, and your emotions. Okay? That's what's affecting your frequency. And at first, it's gonna feel a bit strange. You're gonna feel like a low-key, like an imposter. Okay? You're going to be like, this feels strange. And the thing is that this old frequency here, these are all entities, by the way. They all exist simultaneously in parallel universes, and you, as the conscious observer, tune into whichever state of being that you want to occupy and be. And the thing is that when you're here trying to do these things, and it's like party, you know, like things are going well and it's all checking out, you're gonna be haunted by this frequency here, unfortunately. This frequency here exists, and you embodied it for a while, okay? And it, too, has its own thoughts, beliefs, feelings. And it's going to try and pull you back to this old frequency because it exists. It's not doing it because it's evil. It's not doing it because it hates you. Quite the opposite. It believes, it actually, when you operated from this past sense of self, it thought it was doing the best for you. And it's going to creep in with its fears, and it's going to try and drag you back to this frequency. And it's up to you, as the conscious observer of your reality, who is aware and able to change things in the present moment, to reason with that. So when you get a negative belief and it's like, what if this is stupid? What if I fail? What will they think about me? When you start to get these beliefs, you need to reinforce yourself in your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Positive affirmations, visualizations. Keep doing this visualization so you know this frequency and remember it. And what you're trying to do is make this frequency so much stronger than this one. That's easier said than done, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's not, if you fail, because there'll be times where you fail, it's not a failure, it's not the end of the world. If anything, when you pick yourself back up, that's experience. You're gonna know what to do next time. You're gonna know what to do better next time. You're gonna get up quicker next time. And then eventually there won't be no next time. You're just gonna be here and you're going to maintain being there. And yeah, just please don't get discouraged when your old frequency knocks on the door and tries to get invited back in. And I would say don't have resistance for the negative frequency, because it's actually trying to bring your attention to the limiting beliefs that you may still hold on to subconsciously. So just meet it with presence and try to understand what it's trying to say to you. And yeah, I really hope that this video helped you understand that to do something you never did, you must first become someone you never were. And hope to see you next time.